Hi, I'm Mark Dias, and I felt like doing instead of an LP, which I haven't been doing, I thought it was time for a vlog. I normally don't do these, I'm not big on them, but there's a few things that I'd like to talk about, and a few other things, and the reason why my uploads have been slower. Um, One, I've been voting on a lot of Steam Greenlight games. Um, Ultimately, I would want to vote on as many as possible because I like seeing people's ideas and what people can come up with, and a lot of beautiful things. There are a lot of games that I've seen on here that I'm really excited for. I might try to go in and show them because they're good, or because they have something that clinches for me. My problem is that there's so much shovelware, like the same kind of dreck, like the same kind of nonsense, and games that are really just concepts that people kind of pump out, and that's it. There's also a lot of games that shouldn't be in Greenlight, like they should be already on Steam. And I understand that it's important to have games that aren't made by big developers do that, but at the same time, it feels kind of dick in a way. Like Next Car Game, like they've made really good games. Like the people who make this, the Bugbear, they made Flat Out and a bunch of other things, and I don't see why they're even in Greenlight. They should just be straight on front page of Steam. And I understand that Greenlight allows them the opportunity to have communities give opinions and talk before they pump out a game, which I think is important. But I think there should be a secondary chapter so that way professional game studios can look at what might be a hit, start an idea, get things rolling, get people's opinions, work on a game, and get it really fleshed out. And that would be awesome, because that way big game companies can work like indie game companies and really give people the kind of things that they would want out of a video game. And I mean, I've played a lot of video games, a ton of video games really, and a lot of these games are just remakes of old games. There's one on here that's a Populous remake, another one that's like a clone of Lode Runner, and there's a lot of these games that are just repeats that don't add anything, or they have artwork that's worse than the original, and they don't have any features that really drive you. And, you know, there are games on here that look like they could be really good, but they need something else. They're missing something else. And, you know, that's where something like Greenlight really can make a difference for a developer who's really active in the community or really interested in finding out what they can do to take it to the next level, to make it that game that people will play for a long time. I've recently been kind of obsessed with playing Don't Starve, and I enjoy it. There are a lot of little buggy things in it, but overall the game is good, even though I get tremendously frustrated having to redo things and things like that. But I mean, these kind of games I play more of. Like, I have an absurd time in Dungeons of Dreadmore and some other games similar to that, like the roguelike games that I can just keep playing. Right now I actually just finished downloading Paranautical Activity, which you can see here. I've had an eye on Paranautical Activity, and I'd seen some light demos. I watched Zeta Plays do it, and thought it was interesting, and I thought it was a game that I would play. I loved Quake, and I love roguelikes, so why not mix the two together? The other thing too, this style of game, I mean, Door Kickers does look better than a lot of the other ones, and I'm not knocking them, but I hate that style of game. And there's like 6 or 7 games that are just like it on Steam Greenlight. really garbage truck. Um, and I don't really like those type of games. I never have. They're not that interesting to me, and there's just too many of them. Like, there's a few that have original ideas, but yeah. Uh, and before I go much further and I start actually talking or reviewing things, oh god, it feels good to, LP and smoke a cigarette. But um, I've been working a lot, and it's like back to school season, so most stores are packed with greedy little flesh children and dumb parents that don't know much about things but are looking for something, and of course the school told them the wrong thing, and then they have no idea what it is. So it's been a huge pain for me, and it's been very physically intensive, and I just really haven't felt like LPing, so I've been using my backlog of Digital Devil Saga to do it. I plan to get back into LPing once it starts getting a little colder, but it is tremendously hard because Borderlands 2 came out with their expansion, a new expansion, even though it's a short one, and they're coming out with more, and PS4 is coming out, and there's just been a lot of things recently that have kind of struck me. So, yeah. That's been kind of a busy game time where I don't want to sit down and play a shitty GBA game or play other games. Or when I do want a game, I just want a game for myself. I don't want to do LPing. And things like Don't Starve, I could record, but truthfully it'd be really boring. I think that Don't Starve is a very personal one-player game, and I don't think it translates well into an LP. Just like Dungeons of Dreadmore and some other games I've been playing recently. And the reason why I wanted to make a Greenlight video is because I was burned by a game I bought, and I was really pissed off that it was more of a concept and not even a completed game. And it pissed me off, and I'm not going to mention the game, but if you know what game it is, well, it pissed me off, and it pissed off a bunch of my friends that we spent so much damn money on this game, and there's like no content in it whatsoever, and it's like a big open empty universe. Pisses me off. I spent a long time voting for stuff. A lot of them look really interesting. This looks fun, Death Road to Canada. And Hot Tin Roof, that looks like fun. This game looks amazing for the art style and its everything else. It just looks really, really good. Some of these I vote for because they're interesting, or I would play them in a weekend, or I know someone that would hardcore love it, or I think that it just deserves something more. This game looks awesome. Rogue Shooter looks like it's probably... It just looks like it makes fun of all those shooters that you've ever played before, and looks really interesting. But yeah, going through so many games, it looks really interesting to see what people do, and seriously, some of this stuff is really great. And this, which is one of the things I wanted to get to, finally, this can get off GameTap. I loathe GameTap. With a passion. I had a free membership to it shortly, and I hated it. Hated GameTap. If I buy a game, I don't want to have to pay to replay that game. Like, if I buy a game, I want to buy it, and that is it. Like, I don't want to have to, update somebody else's subscription for it. I think that the developer should get the money, and that you should pay a developer, and the developer says, okay, we've made a deal, I've made something nice for you, now you get to keep it, and you can play it as much as you want, and thank you for paying for it. I think that a subscription base is really stupid, and I think it's... because I think it's more exploitative to the developer, really. I mean, I'm sure that Spicy Horse probably did a good job with it, with being on GameTap as being one of the reasons to get GameTap. But now that it's off GameTap, screw GameTap. And I don't know, as much as in this game, I freaking Big Fatty's on there too. I'm friends with Big Fatty. I saw him commenting on a Greenlight game. But some of these games are just games that people rip apart because they don't like one thing about it. And I'm not so much big on like one thing. If it has something that grabs me, has an art style, and looks interesting, I'll probably play it at some point. I'm not the richest person in the world. This game looks awesome too. And this one too. Laika Believes, that looks really cool. I just wanted to show off a bunch of like just general games. You can look them up if you're on Steam and have Greenlight and are interested in them. And I like really weird games or things that will be like a new experience or something interesting. I think Strike Vector was another one I was thinking of. That was like it's like a first-person shooter but in 3D space, and it's like super fast. If that's the game I'm thinking of, I don't know. I've voted for so many games. I spent like the past 2 weeks just voting on games whenever I have time off. And this game looks awesome. This is like, I do this in my head in FPS games anyway, but now they've made like a game out of it. It's kind of like Portal, except you keep flipping upside down over and over and over again. And it's the kind of game where I could be okay with it, but if somebody else watched it, they would like throw up. And the developer is pretty damn awesome, and pretty active, which I like. And a scapegoat looks like a lot of fun. And like a lot of people complain about graphics and stuff like that. I don't really care what your graphics look like if it's a fun game to play. Like, this game has absolutely gorgeous art style to it, but you know, I'm not getting it just for the art style. It looks like it would be a fun game to play. And then there's games like Wayward that look interesting and don't have the greatest graphics, but look like they have a gameplay that I could really get into. And really, that's what matters to me. Is ultimately like, this one just looks fun because I could probably just do ridiculous things in it. I don't think it's right for everybody, but I would go down there and shoot some fish and shit. It would be pretty awesome. If it was cheap. If it was like $60, I wouldn't buy it. And this one, not many people have this kind of art style, this old classic cartoon style, but there is something to be said for it, and they did it nice, and it looks smooth and interesting. Full Bore looks pretty awesome too, I'm not gonna lie. These kind of games, these like zombie survival games, like procedurally generated worlds, roguelike, they all look interesting, but I've yes voted all of them, well, at least the ones that looked really good, because I hope that someday someone actually comes out with one that looks really good. Like, that just, like, is on top of things. It's much in the same way that there's, like, you know, Dwarf Fortress and Terraria and Minecraft and, you know, all these kind of games, but really, Minecraft was the one that was on the most popular, although not as updated as like Terraria or hardcore as Terraria or any other games like that. But it was certainly the most complete, and most enjoyable for other people. Actually, my buddy has a Minecraft server, which I might hop onto, but I'm kind of done with Minecraft. The Novelist looks really interesting. Just because it's like, I really hate digital novels. Like, either you make a game or you make a movie or you make an animation or you make a comic, but you choose a media and you just stick with it. An interactive story to me is kind of boring, and this isn't Japan in 1990, so it doesn't seem that interesting. And once again, Big Fatty Plus on that one as well. it's interesting because that one seems to tell you the story from different sides as you go, so it looks really interesting. Alright, cigarette's done. Less distractions. But it looks interesting because the story kind of develops around what you do. And that makes it so much more interesting. Because you're like a passive observer of the story. So it's like having, what do they call it? An inaccurate storyteller. So you don't know everything that's going on, but you have an idea, which that looks really interesting, because I don't think anybody's really done that. 12 Tales Online looks like something my fiance and I would play together, just because it looks interesting. And we played Ragnarok for a while, but we're always looking to switch to something else that's less pay to win. This looks actually really interesting and strange, and I would probably play it. And this game I am actually really excited for. It's like a modern Road Rash with guns. Like, Road Rash died when it went to CDI, and died even more once it came over to PlayStation because they stopped translating it so well and tried to make this kind of kiddie, cartoonish style. But really the best part about it was hitting a kangaroo at like 170 miles an hour and then getting back on and knocking someone out with chains. Like, that's what made it fun. That it was like white knuckle action. But this one looks to be finally someone's bringing it back. If it had controller support, it would be like the perfect game. At least for me to play for a while. This looks really pretty and looks like a lot of fun. I could see myself playing it. And also Space Sandbox games. I really like Space Sandbox games, but really X3 Rebirth, which is like, looks goddamn gorgeous, will probably kill all of these games. Because already what X Rebirth has been doing is just outstanding. I'm getting so distracted by physical requirements outside of this video. I don't know why this is here. I think I don't know why I upvoted it. I think I upvoted it because it looks like a game that I would try to get him killed. I don't know if I'd pay for it, but it's like a well-rounded game, and I know people with kids, and I upvoted it because Steam does need a fair amount of kids games just for stake. And that one looks really good. Woodle Tree looks like fun. I don't know why. It just does. And Towel Fight, yes. That game I could see myself playing the hell out of. I also don't know if this is just all items I voted for, or if it's the ones I upvoted. I'm pretty sure it's all the ones I upvoted. Yeah, Manos Hand of Fate looks fun too. And also, the reference. Come on, MST3K reference? That's awesome. Hammer Watch is awesome. I already beat it. Pretty much did everything with it. The problem with a lot of multiplayer games is, well, multiplayer games are that they PC. It's not easy to do multiplayer, and getting someone else with a PC who actually like has time or wants to play at the same time is like next to nil. I would rather have it on like a console, because people come over and playing on a console is easy to set up and you don't have to worry about all sorts of other things. That was my only problem with Hammer Watch, although it was a fun experience and I liked the references to Gauntlet without being Gauntlet. Like, it really stood apart from Gauntlet and other games like this isometric view ones. So I thought it was really interesting, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And the character classes were different enough that they made the game fun. Delver's Drop, I think, was an interesting... Yeah, this one looks like a lot of fun. It reminds me of games that you see on Newgrounds every once in a while, but a lot more fleshed out. Those kind of like, I think 2D action, yeah. 2D action RPG games. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think I upvoted that one. I don't know. Maybe I did. Yeah, and Knit Underground. I mean, I don't know why these even need to go through Greenlight, because seriously, the Knit games are awesome. And yeah, they're awesome. I played Underground on PS3 to death. Um, so yeah, that game's awesome. And yeah, I don't know. I've just, in general, it really is interesting what games have come out. I don't really like the people who just make like a mobile game and then try to release it on Steam. I don't really like it that much. I'm just not a big fan. And first person zombie games, unless you really add something, it doesn't look that interesting. Enamel looks awesome. Um, and Dino Storm, just because I loved Dino Riders toys as a kid, and this looks awesome. And Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I mean, how can you not like Cadillacs and Dinosaurs comics? The games weren't that great, but this looks to be awesome. And Super Amazing Wagon Adventure, you really can't go wrong with. I'd rather have it on PS3 though, just to watch it with other people and kind of do like a round robin challenge of playing it. Also, a lot of these I don't really remember if I played them or not. This looks interesting, just because it's really clever in terms of like its art style and the way the boss battles seem to take place. It looks really interesting. If you're into that kind of thing. Zombier. Zombier is like a thank you. Like, yeah, it's a zombie game, but it's like a Time Splitters, and I forget what else I said. I said something else, but the dev was really happy about it. But it doesn't take itself seriously, and it's ridiculous. First of all, look, it's a creepy zombie guy petting a cat rat thing zombie with a mohawk. I mean, it literally is like one of those games that has that kind of Time Splitters art style and humor that make it a fast-paced action first-person shooter, but it's also funny and clever and ridiculous, which stand out a lot more than seeing the same gray walls and the same alien making the same sound coming at you while you shoot it with the same shotgun. Like, I might show a video of this just because it looks awesome. Metal Dead is another one that looks really awesome. See, Big Fatty, you need to stop agreeing with me on everything. And by stop, I mean keep doing it. Let's see what else. Yeah, Wildlife Park, I have that at my work. They sell that. And, yeah, I don't know why it's even in Greenlight. La Mulana, you can't go wrong with. Yeah, so I don't know. I've been interested in a lot of games on here, and I really wish Scapegoat one. I really wish they would just, I don't know. It was a little easier to get them to all come out, because I see them on Greenlight, and then it takes a while for them to come out. Like I really want Oniken, but that still hasn't come out yet. But it's good too because things come out and then you have like time to kind of get excited for them and watch the game really develop and grow. Melody's Escape is pretty awesome if you like Bit Trip. And they invited me to the group, but I don't know if I'm gonna come into it. I don't know. I don't like getting involved heavily in the people's business of their game. Like, it's one thing if there was a lot to it, but Melody's Escape is like a rhythm, like obstacle course game, just like Bit Trip. So it looks interesting and looks fun, and I would probably play it. As much as I love Bit Trip, it's like a procedurally generated, music generated runner, which would be interesting, but I would be playing it to like death metal and weird video game music and K-pop stuff. I don't know, random weird stuff. So it would be interesting to play it. But you know, there are other games like Bit Trip, but it's set itself aside, so it's pretty nice. Am I really on the end? Alright, well, what, Zombier was page 7? I'll show you that real quick, because that one is definitely one that needs to be greenlit. And you can
18.
you can always just look it up. Ah, crap, I have my speakers on. Okay, good. Speakers off. I think it was actually the third one that showed the gameplay trailer. Because they get like a squid gun and shit. It's awesome. But the devs are real nice about it, and look at that. But it really has that like time splitters kind of flow, so it looks interesting. And like they have well-detailed environments for an indie game. See, how could you not enjoy this kind of ridiculous style? Well, anyway, it's boring making a video of watching videos of videos. Videoception is not always okay. But yeah, I mean, pretty much any of these games, you can pause a video, look them up, like, they just all look like so much fun that I would be excited to play them, or they look like something that just deserves to be on here. Again, weird games like Wildlife Park 3, like, if a game seems like it's something that just should have never been put in a Greenlight, that it should have already been put out on Steam, I usually just vote for them. And even if I don't like them, I still will, because I think that's important. And I've downvoted a lot of games, because I've done 700 and some games, but there are so few that are complete or fulfilled enough to really make them votable, or they're too crappy and I wouldn't want to vote for them. Like, they seem really stupid. This here is all like a pretty good block. I mean, this is all games that I would definitely download and play. Especially this one, and Death Road to Canada. Again, I don't really like zombie games, but this one really struck itself. I mean, come on. I was going to comment on it that, either you win and you're awesome, or Canadian dies and everything's okay. So really, I mean, it's a win-win with that game. Sorry, Canada. But yeah, and yeah. So I've just been busy with a lot of things going on. I've been spending some time writing a very, very, very long design document, and I don't foresee myself making any games anytime soon, but if I did, I would release it on Greenlight, and I'd probably let you know well before I even launched it on Greenlight. And I probably wouldn't even launch it till it was almost out of alpha. I find it really taboo to release like a game that's not even a beta yet. It kind of frustrates me. I don't mind if it's a beta and has some bugs or has some tweak issues or balancing issues, or you're constantly updating it. But there are some games on here that are like dead games that are barely betas, and it's unfortunate. But what can you do? It's just, those are my kind of complaints about Greenlight and the positive things about Greenlight. I don't know. I guess because like mainstream like game companies haven't been releasing games that seem as interesting or seem as fascinating as a lot of these games do, because these games really have thought out of the box about things. And I know that's really cliche, but there's such a strike to get something flashy and in. Like, I played Last of Us, and Last of Us was good, but it's like a one-time experience, and that's not really my favorite thing. I like a reason to be able to go back and play the game or have like really fond memories because I spent a long time on it. And I think Greenlight helps bring these kind of game things out, because a lot of these games aren't just linear one playthrough and that's it. They make it so you're going to want to come back and play more. And I kind of like that idea, and I like that people are challenging like normal ideas. Like this game, I probably wouldn't play. I don't really like. I like brawlers, and I think it's interesting, but it's very much like Art of Fighting or Final Fight, just made into a side-scrolling brawler. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like, my cousin would probably play the hell out of this game. He probably would never play anything ever again, but for me, I think it deserves a green light spot. I mean, I'd probably play it. Let's be realistic here. Um, but I don't know. It's just so many are deserving, and there are a lot that aren't really deserving. And I'm not saying it to be like a snob about things. I'm just saying it because there are things that in the world of gaming need to happen. And as much as mainstream gaming is getting into a rut, I think games like these help, as long as you don't get mainstream people like, you know, major companies stealing your idea and then making a bigger version of it. Then I think you'd probably do well. And to all the people who post on Greenlight, awesome. Go you. Go you for being able to make awesome games, or shitty shovelware, or whatever you make. That's still a step farther than I am, at least. But I don't know. Hopefully I can start recording more stuff soon, and start, I don't know, once fall comes, I'll have a lot more time off, and I've been learning Unity and been learning a bunch of other things. Not a huge fan of a lot of game development things, and I like Unity, and I like Unreal, and I've been tweaking with them to see what I can do and what my limits are, and I hope to at least try out something at some point. But if I do, I'll let you know. And please go on Steam, help any of these people, not just those people, but anybody on Steam Greenlight that's making a game that you like, because you know what, it really is your choice. So you can always get the game via the person's website, or just help support them by Kickstarter or whatever. Like, keep good video games rolling, and that's really all I really wanted to say. But I ended up talking about all sorts of other stuff instead. So yeah, and also I'm going to start Digital Devil Saga 2 soon. There might be a short delay, and I'm probably, when I get time, finally get on to like Lunar 2 and all the other 2 games that I was supposed to get to, but I never quite got around to. So yeah, I'll see you in the next vlog or LP or whatever the hell I'm doing next. See you later.